What's up, guys? Want to do a quick video on this Oracle Arms 2311 I picked up about a week ago. Not a lot of information out on this on YouTube. Most of it's like SHOT Show or industry shoots, a couple unboxing videos, but nothing really too in-depth. So I just wanted to give my kind of first impressions and let people know what they're getting into should they want to buy one of these. So what exactly is it? This is a 1911-2011 style handgun that is based around the P320 magazine and is also ambidextrous. They announced this at SHOT Show, and I was very excited because I'm a left-handed shooter and wanted to get into this single action only world. Most of the stuff in that category is kind of lacking for us. So they announced it back then, and they opened it up to orders in July, and I ordered it as soon as I got an email saying they were taking orders, and I received mine in the last week of October, and right now we're in the first week of November. I was able to take it out sometime in between, do about 300 rounds, and that's kind of the timeline as a customer that I got. When I got a tracking number for it, I got an email from Oracle explaining that whoever was doing their nitride or coating or whatever it is they're using was not doing a good job. So they had to change vendors halfway through production, and that was part of the reason there was a delay. So I went to pick it up, came in a cardboard box, and then got this nice Save Your Equipment case that came with it. The website says it comes with 3 magazines. Mine came with 5. I would assume that's just because of the delay. So I would expect only 3, but who knows, they might change that in the future. And then let's go into the mags. So it ships with these Oracle marked, essentially 320 magazines, and they're pretty much identical. This is an older 320 mag with the round count on the side, nothing on the back, marked SIG. And this is one of the newer ones, has the round count on the back, again marked SIG. So pretty much identical, some slight differences. Dimensions seem to be about, well, they should be the same because it's what it's designed for. So that's the mags. The overall fit of this gun is very good. You can hear the controls are nice and positive. The slide is nice and smooth. I would say on par with a staccato. It's not, custom 1911, 2011 smooth, but it is very smooth. And then the slide to frame fit, a little bit of oil there, so it might be hard to see. There's just a little bit of perceivable left and right, just kind of barely there, and then almost zero up and down. So, in my opinion, better slide to frame fit than a staccato. Smoothness is about on par, and that is the fit. And then the finish, that goes into one of the things I said earlier about their kind of a problem they had. You can kind of notice that. Might be hard to see on video, but the bottom of my slide release is a little bit rough. Don't exactly know what's wrong with that. Not the end of the world. That's a replaceable part, and it's really not enough for me to send it back to Oracle, but something to note. And then the finish on the mag well is a little bit on the thin side. Came with a couple scratches down here. The ones on the inside, that's from me dry firing, but a couple down here. Again, slight knock, not the end of the world. I don't really care that much. Some issues I ran into is the slide plates. Comes with 3, RMSC, RMR like you see here, and then Delta Point Pro. You get a really extremely, see if I can get it on camera, extremely, almost barely there co-witness with the RMR plate. But the plates themselves are either extremely tight, whether it be from machining or the coating, or are out of spec, because I had to hammer mine in with a rubber mallet to get the iron plate off and then this plate on. But I was able to get it fully seated, at least from what I could tell, and then Loctite and screw in the screws to the specs indicated in the manual. So didn't come off in 300 rounds. Hopefully it stays that way. Just something a little concerning I wanted to bring to people's attention. The other thing is the safety on the left-hand side, when it is disengaged, kind of protrudes, this little corner here, protrudes into the beaver tail area. And when you have a full firing grip and deactivate the safety, it can kind of pinch that web of your hand. I believe if that was flushed, that would fix that. Aside from that, might just be a training issue on my part because I am new to single action only guns. And when I would deactivate it at a different point in my draw stroke, I wouldn't have that problem. So it might just be me. The rail, you see a thumb screw X300 on here. I bought this for this gun because I have two quick detach X300s, one universal, one Picatinny, and neither of them would fully seat. The Picatinny one would have to go like an in-between setting, leaving you a little bit of a gap here, and you'd have to like force the locking bar up. So that didn't sit right with me. I took that off. And then the universal just had a bunch of forward and back play. So again, not what I was going for. So I just bought the thumb screw model. Not the end of the world, but they advertise standard Picatinny, and whether it be or not, you know, I had to use the thumb screw model. But that's what people recommend for a metal frame gun. So again, not the end of the world. Mag inserts. This was a weird one, and I might not be able to do it on camera. But when I would insert a magazine, at some point, and of course it's, oh, there it goes. So it just locks in there. It doesn't matter how hard you push, it's not going in. And you just have to kind of go in at a different angle, and then it'll go in. And that happened mostly with the Oracle mags, which are brand new. My beat up Sig mags, little less common, but it still would happen with them. So that was weird. Something to keep an eye on. And the other problem I ran into while I was shooting is on the last round in the magazine, the slide would lock back with a round like ready to be loaded in. And if you just smack the slide release, you know, it would fully seat and fire and everything. But it was like locking back on the last round in the magazine as opposed to being empty, which was another weird thing. Again, did not happen with the Sig mags, only happened with the Oracle mags, so something might be up with those. Shooting it, the trigger is slightly heavier than a staccato. They advertise 4 pounds. I don't have a trigger gauge, but I imagine it's a little bit heavier than 4 pounds, maybe 6. But again, I don't have a gauge. It just definitely feels a little bit heavier than 4. It is still a very nice trigger with a very good reset, as you can kind of hear here. So very short, very nice reset. Just a little on the heavy side as compared to a staccato. The very light recoil. It's a bit heavy, which helps with the recoil, but very, very minimal recoil. The grip size. I wear a size large glove, and it's a big, chunky gun to hold on to. Not too far off from a 2011, but it has more of that like CZ Beretta profile, but it is still big and chunky, so something to keep in mind there. The magwell is kind of a weird shape. It didn't really come up in shooting or anything, just a weird shape, but I believe that is to fit these standard size 320 magazines and still be able to like rip them out. The texture on it isn't bad. It could use a little bit more. They advertise this being swappable, so I imagine that being a fix in the future. And then the spring rate. So I zero with 124 grain HSTs, and I typically shoot 124 grain range ammo. And to me, this felt undersprung. And what I mean by that is when I'm shooting, right, I want the gun, after it does its recoil cycle, to return to the point of aim with range ammo, if not maybe slightly under, and with the HSTs maybe return slightly high. With this, how it's sprung currently, everything was returning on the high side of things. So that would lead me to believe it is a little undersprung. I bet if you used competition loads or just any light 115 grain, wouldn't be a problem. But I imagine it's a 1911 spring or a 320. Well, they use should be a 1911 spring if I had to guess, but I don't know for certain. So again, easy, cheap fix, but just something I noticed. So overall, I mean, if you are super excited about single action only and are just waiting for something for left-handed people or ambidextrous controls, and you got the money to spare, I'd say go for it. Aside from that, I would wait, because it seems to me they got a couple things they got to iron out. And I mean, they do advise a break-in, so maybe this will all fix itself over time. But I would wait till some of this stuff irons itself out. And if you're right-handed, I mean, there's some better options for the same price. Unless you have a bunch of 320 mags or just want ambi controls, I would have not a hard time recommending this because it is really nice, but there's just other options. So that's about it. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave them below or give a like, and I'll try and do more videos as I shoot this more. But see you later.